Hey folks, how are you today? Dave Hartlin here, and thanks for joining me today. I got an exciting product to talk to you about today. A good friend of mine last year, Dave Pinchkowski, came up from Wisconsin salmon fishing with me in Newfoundland. He brought me a product called the OPST Commando Smooth. Now what the Commando Smooth is an integrated Skagit style line predominantly produced for single-handed rods. And he brought me up a 225 grain and a 275 grain for my 6 and 8 weight rods that I normally use for salmon fishing. And I put these on my rod and they were unbelievable. They were so good, I just had to have one for my two-handed setup. So the good folks at OPST were nice enough to send me up this setup here. And what I have here, it's not the Commando Smooth, it's called the Commando OPST System. And this is the original design that they came up with. So basically what it is, it's just like most Skagit systems or two-handed systems. You have your running line, whether it be mono or whether it be PVC coated Dacron, and on top of that you have your head system, which in this case is the Commando by OPST again, and this is their Skagit system. Personally myself, I have tried this, but not on my rod. I've tried it on a couple other guys' rods that had them that's been up fishing with me. And it's just an amazing setup. So what I want to do here today is just run through basic setup for putting on your running line onto your head system, and then onto your and then put your tips on that. Whether it be they manufacture these in these are the floating heads. They have them in a 7.5 foot, as well as I believe 10 and 12 foot. And then they have this system they call the riffle, and then the run, and then the bucket. In that sequence, the riffle being the lightest of the three, and then your run being a little bit heavier for your little bit deeper runs and trench fishing areas. And then your bucket series for your big deep pools where your fish tend to hang out when it's nice and warm, or if it's a spring fed from underneath. You got those fish laying in those big deep pools. It's really nice to get down to them with that bucket system. They make those also, I believe, in these ones here, the 7.5 foot. I have them in the 10 foot, and I believe they also may make those in the 12.5. Check out their website, real easy to find. They have Instagram, Facebook, and a great website. So let's get started here. Basically what we have here today is this here is the Lazar line. It's low memory running line, and this is the 40-pound test. I want it the bigger diameter because I find that it cuts into my hands fairly easy, and sometimes with these big salmon you really need something that doesn't do that. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to start by stripping off just a little bit of this line. And this knot that we're going to use here is called the triple surgeon. I use the double surgeon all the time for setting up my leader to leader if I'm joining two pieces of leader together. The double surgeon, honestly folks, has never failed me. It's been a great knot over the years. I learned it many years ago on the LaHave River in Nova Scotia. And this here is the triple surgeon. Basically it's just one more loop through the loop. And it's a really strong knot, and it's recommended by a lot of guys. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take the line, we're going to make a loop. As you can see here, we're just going to make a loop, and you want to make this loop big enough so you can fit your reel through it. As you can see here, I have a Lamson Force, and it's a pretty big reel. I use this for both tarpon fishing in the salt water down in Cuba, as well as I use it on my two-handed rod, multi-purpose reel. Amazing drag, can't say enough good about Lamson products. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this loop like so, and we're going to make a loop. And now it's just like an overhand knot. As you can see there, it's just an overhand knot. Simple, just like tying your shoes. We're going to do it one more time. Keeping these wraps up here nice and symmetrical, and one after the other, and we're just going to put it through a third time. Now we're going to draw that snug. Make sure you keep this tag in. We're going to start to draw that snug. Trying to keep it down here as much as we can because we want to keep that loop to be able to put the reel through it, because we're going to do loop-to-loop connection. So as you can see there, it's starting to pull over on itself. Nice and slow, and you'll get a nice even knot. So as you can see there, folks, real nice knot. We're going to draw this tight. Now a lot of guys don't like using this triple surgeon knot in this situation because generally it's a bulky knot. But this 40-pound laser line from our good folks at OPST, it's really strong. So you can pull that knot, get it nice and tight, like so. So then once we got our gloves on, we're going to take this, we're going to wrap this around our hand. Oh, getting that loop nice and straight. We're going to take this end and we're going to wrap that around here. We're just going to put nice steady pressure on there. That knot slips in nice and snug there, as you can see. Look, beautiful knot. That's not going to affect going through your guides at all. So that knot's nice and secure. We can get rid of our gloves. We're no longer going to need those. We'll get this little tag end here. We'll snip that off. Nice and close. My old fly tying scissors, they're not quite as sharp as they once were. So there you have it, folks. So we have our loop. Now we can take this. I'm not going to show you how to tie that same loop. I use the same one basically in my Dacron backing. So there's our loop-to-loop connection. Now we'll just put this up through here like so. Take this loop, put it through here. So that's just your basic loop-to-loop, folks. Same as attaching your backing. Or sorry, your leader to your fly line. This is very important here. A lot of people will just pull that over just like so, and that's not what you want. What you want is you want this nice figure 8 looking knot. So we'll pull this back like so. If you see there, we gotta get this down. New running line, it doesn't have its crimping there yet, so you want to make sure you got that right where it's supposed to be. If you look there, it's a nice loop-to-loop connection there. So we'll just draw that tight to kind of seat that little bit of memory into our line there. You're going to take your reel, set that over there. There we go, folks. Now that we got that all wrapped on, now what we got to do is we got to make another loop just like the one we just made. So we'll take a little bit of this line off here. And again, I'll go through this with you one more time. So we'll make one overhand knot, 2, and 3. Start to draw that closed. Crosses over, nice and even, nice and snug. We'll wet this one. We'll get our trusty gloves again. Same thing again. Wrap that line around your fingers. You can actually see it when it seats. That's as tight as you need to pull. Once it seats like that, you're good. Take our gloves off for the last time. Get our scissors out. Snip this tag end off. So I apologize for my squeaky chair. So now what we're going to do is we'll just sit this reel aside here for just a second. Now all pretty well all lines come with these little twisties on there. So we'll just pop that one off. And we'll pop this one off. Now this is very important to pay attention to, folks, on most lines today, but especially these OPST. If you look, there's one end that has writing on the loop connector. If you see there, this here says OPST Commando 350 grain. So you always know what line you have. You always know which end is supposed to be out. The end with the writing is the end that goes to your leader. So the opposite end, as you can see here when it's new, I'm just giving you that reference because eventually this little tag that comes with them when they're new that says attach this end to the shooting head, or sorry, to the shooting line, which I call the running line. Same thing. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take, this is the end with no writing, so this goes to your running line. Flip that over so it come off nice and even. So now what you have to do with this end, folks, and that's why we left that big loop in there, you put this end up through the loop on your head, and then you want to pass your reel through the loop in your running line. So there's your loop-to-loop connection, as I'm sure a lot of you know. And we'll flip that over, as you can see. It's like a figure 8, perfect loop-to-loop. And that's the way you want to do your loops-to-loop, folks. You don't want to tie onto those. I've seen guys tie their leaders onto the tips of their fly line with a clinch knot. You don't want to do that. Eventually it's going to cut through. You're going to lose fish, you're going to lose leaders, you're going to lose flies. You're going to be frustrated on the side of the river. This is the way to do it. Loop to loop connection is always the way to do it. So now what we're going to do, just sort of, these always turn into a little bit of mess usually. For a second, the nice thing about these Skagit heads is they're not too long, they're not like a traditional fly line. You don't have much to untangle if they do get tangled. You get used to it over time when you're changing heads a lot in between different situations and whatnot. You'll tend to untangle a few of them and it gets easier over time. So as you can see there, we're just going to wrap that on there nice and even. Spread this out. Doesn't have to be perfect because as you can see there's still plenty of room on that reel. 350 yards of backing on there and a Skagit head and a running line. So then what you do, folks, from there, so now as you can see, I hope you can see that in there, but the writing, OPST 350 grain commando head, is on the outside. We'll call it the tippet end of the line. So then what you do is you take out one of these tips. This here just happens to be the sinking tip, the Run series. We'll get those out towards your leader. So we'll put the loop from our head through the loop of our tip. Take our other end here. We'll feed that up through the tip of the head. Flip those over, and again, there's your nice loop-to-loop connection. Very strong, goes through the guides really nice, not a lot of noise on the water. Easy to change on the river, as opposed to the old nail knots from years gone past. I know a lot of guys still use them for some things. I personally myself don't. I just prefer the simplicity of the loop-to-loop. And then from there, folks, you just put your leader on. And there's lots of videos out there to show you how to set up your leaders for different weight lines and different fishing situations. I'm not going to go through all that here today. I just wanted to do a basic video on how to attach your running line to your backing and your head onto your running line and tip onto that. So thanks for joining me today, folks. If you like this video, click the like button. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. Many more great videos coming up ahead. I don't want you guys to miss any of those, so please click that subscribe button to get the notifications of upcoming videos. I look forward to seeing you all back here. Leave some comments in the comments section. Search me out on Instagram and Facebook. Love to hear from you. Any ideas, anything that you'd like for me to do on this channel, I'd love to hear from you guys. So, and remember folks, it's yours to protect, yours to conserve, yours to keep clean. Please practice catch and release.